What's going on, everybody? I'm Keith, host of Just Our Thoughts with the Fellas, where 4 to 5 of my brothers give their perspective on national as well as local news. We touch on some trending hot topics as well as culturally relevant news. We also get a chance to dive into some deep core conversations. Check us out live every other Monday at 7 p.m. You can find us on Just Our Thoughts on YouTube live, as well as Just Our Thoughts fan page on Facebook. Also, please don't forget to follow us on IG, JOT with the Fellas.
Yo.
What's up, fellas?
What's up? What's up?
What's the dilly? What's the dilly, fellas? How was everybody's weekend?
Good. What's up, E-Dub?
Oh, man, I ain't
What's
got
going on,
nothing,
man?
man. Not too much, man. Yesterday, man, I had a chance to watch a little bit of basketball, man. The playoffs are in. So I just want to know, man, the fellas, talk to me, man. Who y'all got, man? Who you got going all the way, man? I'm a little disappointed. My Sixers lost yesterday, but that was just game one in the second round. I like to see the Sixers and the Clippers, brother, in the championship. Anybody got who y'all looking at? Who you looking at?
Go ahead. You got
Can you
that
hear
going?
me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yo, I thought it was. What's up, Rob? What's going on, Rob Tough now?
Rob Tough now.
What's up, Rob?
Yo, I'm rooting for Brooklyn. I'm rooting for Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I'm rooting
They're
for
the
Brooklyn.
villain, man.
They're not the villain. I'm rooting for Brooklyn, bro. I'm rooting for Brooklyn. My Bulls been out for so long.
Rest in peace.
But I'm rooting for Brooklyn. But I think we talk about it often, man. I like the team. I like the players, man. So you got Devin Booker, man, who I'm kind of rooting for. I like Ben Simmons and B. I think I struggle with some of the things that go on with the fans. How they just take things, not y'all, but certain fans take stuff over the top, man. And they just, so it's hard for me to root for them, but I love the team. Y'all know how I am with that. But I am rooting for Brooklyn, but I enjoy the playoffs and the Clippers. I
don't like the fact that you're rooting for Brooklyn.
Nah,
I would at least thought, because you are a Ben Simmons proponent. You do like Ben. You do.
Ben.
You love Ben. He's 3 of 10 from the free throw line, and that is unacceptable. All right.
That's 7 points, man. We lost by 4.
Exactly. But the boy is an athletically gifted, a great defensive player. He's got great court vision. He's great around the rim.
Right.
But he's just shy of really dominating the game like you really know he's got the potential to do. And you want him to show it. I'm rooting for Philly and Phoenix. I want a Philly and I want a Phoenix finals. I love Devin Booker. I think he is
Booker's a beast.
Incredible. That's Chris Allen's squad right there.
Phoenix Suns.
But I love them since Chuck and KJ and Dan Marley and all them back then too. You know what I'm saying? But I really want Philly to get there. I hate the Nets.
Wild's World.
I hate everything that they stand for.
Yeah.
They move the ball so great. Kevin Nash is doing a fantastic job. Not with them offensively, but even on the defensive side. Kyrie is playing some of the best basketball I've ever seen him play.
That's my dude.
Yes,
he's playing lights out, even better than he was in them trips to the finals with LeBron. I mean, he's an assassin. Like, he's open. And his handle is just like
it's ridiculous.
On another level.
Yo, Rhea is
hey, Cat.
At 6'2", man. I love this dude's footwork. He reminds me so much of Kobe and his footwork, man. How he get to the cup. He can use both hands, man. I love Rhea. People got a lot to say about him, about his people got a lot to say about him, about his comments and stuff like that. I don't get into that because I just think he's young and trying to find himself. But man, I'm definitely rooting for them, man. Their roots is in Jersey. Don't y'all always say geography counts?
No, man, get out of here, Jim. Who's y'all?
When it comes to sports,
who's y'all?
Philly fans.
Well, you know what? We like to root for the hometown player. You know, when it's our benefit, or even sometimes when he's playing for another team when our team is out of it. You know what I mean? We like to go for that guy. Now let's
right.
now you know it's a different story now. Now your boy Trey Young, man, he put a hurting on us yesterday, man. I was like, yo, is this dude from another planet, man? He was going off.
He relishes in that Reggie Miller villain role.
Yeah, he does.
He relishes that.
He does.
When he was in New York balling his lights out, he
Mhm.
relishes, and I think that fuels him.
Yes,
You know
it
what I'm
does.
saying?
It does.
The booze really fuel him, like it did Reggie in the Garden when he was going up against the Knicks. And that's what I love about. I cannot dislike Trey.
Yo,
he's a likable. I don't like Steph, and I see him in the mold of Steph a little bit.
Whoa.
I do not like Steph.
We can talk about that another time.
He's a great player. He's in the mold of that, but he's in the mold of that type of player. But I love Trey. Ain't nothing bad I can say about that kid other than he's got that shag like at the top of the dome.
He need to cut it down. He need to cut it down because it flops when he runs, man. It starts flopping. I just don't want him to start taking the bow, man. You know, if they put the Sixers out of it, don't start taking that bow. Or doing that. I don't want to see that.
Role.
Or do like a Kyrie, and like step on the middle of the
logo. Hey, yo, the one thing, yo, real fast. The one thing that I saw a couple Knicks fans say, they said, "Wow, it's easier to swallow that loss, that series against Atlanta because of what he did to Philly yesterday."
Really?
So they said it was I saw a few Knicks fans say that it was easier to swallow losing that series to Trey Young.
It's not a one-game series. Though.
It's not.
I think Philly found out what they need to do in the second half.
Right. They got to make, but here's the thing, KD. They got to make that, and Chris Allen said it yesterday, man, in our group text. Doc Rivers has to make that adjustment earlier on. This is the playoffs, man. You can't make that adjustment in the third, fourth quarter. Like, okay, I need, call that timeout. Bring out the board. And start doing the X's and the O's and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Here, moving forward.
Got to do a better job coaching. Got to do a better job coaching.
Yeah, so we're going to see, man. We're going to see, man. Enjoy the rest of these playoffs.
Enjoy the ride, baby.
Enjoy the ride. I'm enjoying this, man. I'm trying to catch every game possible. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Just Our Thoughts. Rob, what's up? Alyssa, what's going on? We will see you Saturday. Alyssa, Cat Page. Sis and Tamika Wilcox, thanks for letting us know that you guys are on here. Hey, I meant to tell you, Kat was trying to hook us up, man, with some birthday cake for me and Chris last month, but she just so busy, man. So we're gonna get some of that birthday cake still, Kat. We appreciate it.
You better get that birthday cake.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Just Our Thoughts with the Fellas. I am your host, Keith Hall. Here at Just Our. Yo, how you gonna throw me off like that, bro? I was on the road. Yo, right here on Just Our Thoughts, this is where we talk about national and local news. We discuss trending topics. We have some core conversations here with the brothers, and we get all our perspectives. You can find us on all streaming platforms where we have some dope conversations with individuals. We have some guests. We recently had a guest, Rob Tufnell, who talked about his journey coming up in Camden City. It was a dope conversation we had with Rob. So, go to all our streaming services, listen, download, share, like, communicate with us, interact with us. We appreciate you guys so much just for taking some time out on your Mondays. We here with y'all every other Monday, 7 p.m. Just join us and share. So if you got anything you want to, communicate with us, hey, what's up, Ma? What's going on, Ma? We saying hey out to everybody. So, just come on and join us and, be a part of Just Our Thoughts. What's going on, fellas?
Yo, we here. We here, baby.
Monday night.
Got you.
Monday night action, baby.
Monday night. Today we got the Professor Kevin Kev. What's good, Kev?
Yo, I'm here.
That's that Trey Young bow right there. That's what he did. Yeah.
He just had more hair on his head than me.
Hey, y'all might not know he's here because he hasn't said a word, but Warheem is here with us. What's going on, Wardy?
Hey, what's going on? What's up?
Wardy. Warheem, what's good?
What's up, bro? It's all good, brother. Trying to stay cool out there.
I'm sure you're tired, bro.
Yes. That heat be beating me up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Stay hydrated, my good brother. Stay hydrated.
Yes, sir. All the time. All the time.
Stay
Hey, Ward.
thirsty.
What's
Hey,
up?
Ward, why you don't get any darker when you out there in that sun, brother?
Because man, you know, it's because you got to wear safe. You know, I wear prescription
You wear
safety
some-
glasses. I wear
Okay,
glasses,
okay.
so you know, I wear my glasses and I got a hard hat on, so this
blocks
is
it.
always covered. And
Blocks
then
that
if
sun.
I'm always out, I get
Mhm.
that raccoon look. So I got it. So to stop that, I keep the face covered, so I don't
Nice.
start looking like a raccoon.
Better wear that banana boat. Better put that banana SPF 75.
E-Dub, what's good, E-Dub?
What up, fellas? What's
What's
the
up,
deal,
man?
fellas? Monday,
Chum.
brother. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Hey, let's do it, man. Hey, today we having a dope conversation. We thought that it would be amazing to sit here and bask in the month of June. When we talk about Men's Month, we're going to take this time out and enjoy the month of men. You know, what is it? June 20th, we celebrating Father's Day, but we want to take this whole time out from just our thoughts and just celebrate all men. I've had some great conversations with men already that we're going to be sharing. Just about fatherhood. So today, you know, the fellas, we just going to talk about a father's love. So that's one of the things we want to share, man, and kind of just put some men out there that's just the average man that's doing their job. When it comes to men, we sit back and we're, you know, behind the scenes when it comes to our father role. And we're not looking to be highlighted. We're not looking to have a pat on our back or be celebrated. But there's nothing wrong with being celebrated for doing a wonderful job. And it's a host of men that we know as doing an amazing job, an excellent job as dads, despite, you know, the relationship with the mom. They're still stepping in, even when we talk about stepfathers, you know, stepping in and playing their role. So we definitely want to have some conversation about, you know, about fatherhood. So, you know, we could go right into it. We're going to touch on some trending topics a little bit later. So, you know, KD, man, when you think about fatherhood, what's a couple things that you think about when you think about that word fatherhood? What's some things that you think about, bro?
Well, when I think about fatherhood, what comes to my mind is a covering. Being not only protector, but being a guide and teacher. You know, it just encompasses pretty much what qualities are needed in order to be an effective male caregiver for your biological children, for your godchildren, for whoever young lives you are made steward over. You know what I'm saying? So it's a covering. You know, as a covering, you're providing some type of need that the child has. You know, if it's an emotional need, if it's a physical need, if it's an intellectual need, if it's companionship, you know, it's the umbrella of what is actually the attributes of a male figure to provide the blueprint for another young boy or another young girl as how a man should carry himself, how a man should interact in his family, and how a man should also be in relationships, in career, and just the interaction with that child, him or herself, you know. So it's just the complete, to me, it's the covering, being what you need. There's so many things as a father that we need to be to our children. Traditionally, we get looked at as the one mom sends the kids to when they act up. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be the chastiser. You know what I'm saying? But we're so much more than that. You know what I'm saying? When men should be able to be a nurturer as well. You know, not just I'm always the bad guy. No, I want to be the fun dad, and I want to be the dad that hugs and loves and kisses you. And I want to be the dad that we do so many things together. So it's not just one or two things that encompasses the fatherhood, but it's so many things that we got to give of ourselves to put that into action.
Kevin, it's interesting that you said that. I was talking to someone a couple months ago, and they asked me, "Are you the fun dad?" They asked me, "Are you the fun dad?" And I kind of got a little offended when they asked me, am I the fun dad? And
Okay.
I wanted a little more explanation, but I didn't know what they seen and what they were exposed to in terms of being in terms of fatherhood, because it's highlighted, but I didn't know the place that it came from. So I did get a little offended when she asked me, because you just mentioned the fun dad, and a lot of times it's the role that dads play in the child's life. I often think about the voice of a father. I remember someone saying, you don't have to yell at a kid, it's your voice that they hear, and they hear it's the tone, it's the power in your voice, so it's having that power, and your kids hear you, despite, you yelling, and despite you, wilding out. It's that tone, in which you say something, and with the authority and the power behind it,
right.
So despite I'm not a yeller anyway, I wonder if they had the idea that I was a quote unquote fun dad, although I am a fun dad.
Yeah, but when you say that real quick, it just says, somebody asks you if you're the fun dad. I think what they're really asking you, how involved are you with your children?
Really?
Because they might be speaking out of a place where
out of their experience,
their male companion or former male companion is not as involved on a recreational level with their children, involved with the things that they enjoy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times in many instances, it's the moms that's taking them to football practice, or the moms that's taking them to gymnastics, or the moms taking them to karate, and the dad is, for whatever reason, not as involved in those areas, so that question might be out of their experience with the father of their children, not really making the time to be a dad involved in the different areas of, extracurricular activities.
EB, I got a question. I heard Will Smith say, it was at some point, he said, I'm gonna paraphrase it, but he made a comment about his involvement with his kids as when they were younger, that he wasn't the dad that was going to pick up the report card. He wasn't the dad that was going to take them to their outings, their social outings. He was the dad that was out there trying to provide financially for them. And he spoke on the different roles that fathers play. Right. What do you think about the roles and your role, with your boys? And if those that are watching don't know, EB got two energetic, fun, loving.
Come on, don't hold back. Energetic,
busy boys.
Listen, I want to be the father, man, who plays both roles, man. I want to be that dad who is the fun dad, in addition to that father, man, who picks up that report card, man, who talks to the teacher, man, who has interactions, with everybody in the community. I want my face to be seen to let them know that, hey, this guy is really active, man. He's involved in this kid's life, man. And I say that because, man, just dating back, man, my biological, man, father wasn't in my life, nor did I have a relationship, with him. So I just want to give my little boys, man, what I didn't have growing up, because it's important to me to be able to be that provider. And hey, Kev, you mentioned, be that protector, to be that teacher, man, and pick them up when they're down, to just go ahead and say, hey, all right, you made a mistake. And I want to be able to take that moment and turn it into a teachable moment, so that the next time you encounter that problem or that issue, you'll know, okay, this is what my dad taught me. I want to be that little voice
pull from it
that's in their ear, that lets them know, oh, I remember what my dad said. My dad is watching. I need them to understand that. So as they get older, man, I'm creating those memories, man, for these guys, so that, hey, when they have children one day, they'll be able to do, the same thing,
Absolutely.
man.
Yeah.
Hey, I know, just real quick, just to piggyback off of E. You remind me of stuff that's in the scripture when you talk about Proverbs. A lot of the chapters start off with hear the words of the Father. Hear the instruction of the Father. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hear that voice of my dad telling me that if I do this, there are repercussions and penalties.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What would my father do in this type of situation? Well, this is what he poured into me. And I need to pull from that. You know, so it reminds me of those Proverbs in the Bible where it always talks about hear ye the words of the Father, you know, to give them advice on relationships with women, and how to conduct yourself in all different types of matters. So it is important to, you know, because sometimes I'll hear the voice of my grandfather, you know, because it had so much gravity in my life. You know what I'm saying? And my wife will tell you, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, Dad, you know, I because sometimes I'll hear some of the instruction that he has left me, and I want the same reverberation in my sons as well, you know, to hear, or just to even see my face like this.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah.
That's what you want to do.
Hey, Kev, I like how you said that, man. Sometimes, man, you don't have to say a word. Sometimes it could just be your facial expression, man, that lets these guys know, man. Or, you know, or even, you know, I know your daughter. Sometimes it's like that face says, hey, listen, I'm not playing. So don't even go there. And Kev, I want to make this point. You mentioned Proverbs, bro. Proverbs 22:6 says, start children off on the way that they should go.
Yeah.
Right? And even when they are old, they will not turn from it. Come on. Proverbs 22:6.
That's right. That must be that New International Version right there.
That's the NIV. King James says, train them up.
Train a child in the way that they should go, and in the end, they will not depart from it. It's the KJV.
Oh man, y'all crazy. Hey, you know, I wanted to switch real fast, man, and talk to how this dude just gonna get up and just walk away? I wanted to switch real fast and talk to and ask Ward, you know, about being fathered. You know, I want to get his idea, get his thoughts on about being fathered. You know, for me, that, you know, Kevin talks about that voice. Kevin talks about that voice when you're out there hearing that father voice. I never had that father voice to hear when I was out there. I never had that. It was my mother's voice is what I heard. You know, Ward definitely, you know, had an opportunity to hear that father voice. And Ward, if you could talk about that father voice, you know, what did that mean to you?
If I can get through it, because I do get emotional. My father was more than two sides. You know, when I was young, I got to hang out with him. He would take me out. We would go hang out all over Camden. He would even take me in the bars instead of, you know, he would, of course, we wouldn't sit at the bar, but he'd prop me up in a chair, get me a mug of root beer like I'm drinking, hanging out with Pops at a young age. It was the greatest, you know. Pops would hug and kiss on you. But as we started to get older, that kind of shifted. You know, it was more or less mom's nurturing, and then dad was I'm going out and I'm going to make sure you guys have everything you want. Well, mainly everything you need, and you'll want for nothing. So, you know, as I got older, started, you know, we get to high school, start playing sports, and then now that I, like, you know, let me backtrack a little bit, because my dad did a lot of, you know, he did a lot of side work, and me and my brothers got the opportunity to actually work for him. And we would do little odd jobs. Like a lot of people don't know, my dad actually did fairs on the corner when we were kids.
Parkside.
Yes, that's in Parkside.
Yeah.
So we had the opportunity to actually work with him, see the things that he did daily. And in a way that kind of helped me understand my father and where he was coming from. So it was like, you know, they always say you lead by example. Well, my father really didn't say much, but he always led by example. He didn't have to say anything, because it was to the point where when we were kids, him showing us what to do and how to do it. He really didn't have to say it, because we picked up on it. And then it came to that, I didn't want to disappoint my father. So that kind of stuck in the back of my head, and I'm pretty sure stuck in the back of my brother's heads, that, you know, you don't want to do anything to disappoint him, and you want to, you know, make him proud.
Right.
So we fast forward a little bit. You know, now I'm playing sports, and at that time, I never recognized my father coming to any of my football games or early wrestling matches. And then, so my father gets sick, but yet, well, before my father gets sick, he, you know, I started working with him again, and actually, you know, out on the truck, going to jobs. And I mean, I was having a ball. I that was like the best time of my life, was my early teenage years. And then he talk about hearing that voice, that one voice that my father used, that sticks out my mind to this day. And it was the most off the wall question any father could ask his son. And I'm sitting in the truck, and my father turns to me and said, "Boy, you ever had some pussy yet?" And I'm like, but that's those things that, you know, your father.
Well, what you answer? What you say? What you say? What was the answer?
I mean, at the time, I couldn't say anything.
You couldn't say nothing. He was like, that was a transparent moment.
It was a transparent moment, but just certain things you just can't say, you know. But then it was funny, because
we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that, because it's things that you can share with Dad. But go ahead.
You know, but Dad was like, you know, but that was that funny moment, and all I could do was laugh. You know, my dad showed us every facet of being a father that could possibly be, between being a provider, being a lover, you know, that giving love, showing love, even nurturing. Shoot, how do you think I learned how to barbecue like I do?
Okay.
You know, dad was a mean grill master, and I would, you know, you leave, you know, he led by example. I watched my father, you know, like other shows that we have had in the past, where I said my father was my role model. There is no other man that I'd rather fashion my life behind except my father.
You're fine. You know, that's dope. That's dope, Ward, because it sounds like, you know, your dad was more the, you know, he modeled the behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like you and your brothers just watched. You know what I mean? And when you guys became of age, you know, those conversations were definitely happening. You know, I missed all of those conversations. You know, the three of us, we've talked about it, you know, in the past, and still talk about, you know, missing those conversations. And do you find yourself, you know, fellas, do y'all find yourself maybe not overcompensating, but trying to balance that out? You know, I know for me, the one thing I didn't have, you know, as a child, I didn't have shoes like the latest fashion shoes, you know, when I was coming up. I had shoes on my feet, but I didn't have
I remember that.
Yeah. So for me, like, when it comes to KJ, it's a thing that I have. I got to make sure this dude got, it's not the latest fashion, but some nice, comfortable shoes to wear. You know, do you find yourself doing that, you know, when it comes to, you know?
I know what you're saying. And to piggyback off of Ward's point, man, when I listen to you talk about the relationship, man, that you have, or that you had, you know, with your father, because I didn't have that, man, and I don't even know if I ever shared this with the fellas, man, but I felt cheated, man. You know what I'm saying? A little bit that I didn't have that role model, man, or that mentor, or that person that I could really, you know, establish that bond with. I mean, of course I had, you know, uncles, you know, I had my grandfather, you know, but you know, it was something different, man. And when you watch, man, you know, like you said, people like Ward, you know, like our good brother, you know, Marcus Royal, man, you know, Mr. Fernie, man. Mr. Fernie, man, that was his dog,
Yes.
man. And
Yes.
you know, he really, you know, you would see them riding around, man. You know,
Yeah.
Marcus be in the front. You know, Marcus was always short. You know,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
yeah, man, I
You
felt
felt cheated, E.
I felt cheated, man. So
Yeah.
to your point, Keith, do you feel the need to overcompensate, man? I do feel like I need to go above and beyond to make
Mhm.
sure that I am definitely there for my little guys, man. And
Right,
I'm not
right.
always talking about from a financial standpoint, but I'm
Right.
talking about from a mental, social, you know,
Mhm.
part, you know, and you know, giving them hugs. And KD, you mentioned, you know, loving them up, you know, giving them kisses on the cheek, and you know,
Yeah.
strong, firm handshakes, man. I see myself wanting to be that father that I did not have.
Yeah,
yeah,
EB,
yeah.
EB, you said you kind of said the sentiments of my heart, bro. Because you know, seeing other kids with their dads,
Yeah,
you know, you do feel in a way that you missed out on something.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I feel like
yeah.
my grandpa stepped in and I attached myself to him. You know,
did.
he and still like just because he's going on doesn't mean that my relationship with him has ended. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? My relationship with him is very much still alive because of what he has poured into my life. You know, so
Right.
the relationship doesn't die. The individual may, but not the memories or the relationship or the teachings that he has given you. But
Right.
you know, to be able to see that individual that had sex with my mama, got me,
Mhm.
got her pregnant,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
is there on a consistent basis,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And to be able to love on him like my dudes love on me, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
That I feel like I have missed out, you know what I'm saying? But I thank God for my grandfather's involvement in my life, you
Nice.
know, but you know, just when you brought up Mr. Fernie,
Mhm.
Haas's pop, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? To
yeah,
see the relationship, how it didn't miss
yes,
a beat from when he was a kid
right.
to when, you know, we were adults.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I go over Haas' house. Hey Haas, Marcus, the boy with the 926 is outside. That's why I had that Mazda 626.
I remember.
You
That's
know,
that black. Was that black on KD?
It was
that was no, that
like
was the tan. That was a gold.
That was,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, that was a
That
goal.
was a
Yeah,
gold
Yeah.
one.
yeah.
You know, but to see that they had a
That was
really
dope, man.
loving,
It was dope.
fun,
Relationship.
a laughing
Father-son.
relationship, like they were not more than the father and son relationship transcended to really good friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And that's why when War brought up the fact, you know, his dad asked him if he had any poo-tang, you know what I'm saying? That right there is, I think, so important to
Yes, it
have
is, man.
those type of transparent discussions with your children, not leaving anything, you know, secret or whatever. My 9-year-old, he has questions about his body.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's growing, he's developing. So he knows certain things about his body is changing at certain times in the morning or late at night. I gotta explain to him, you know,
Why
how
getting hard?
how your body exactly
Yeah.
this erection that's happening. I
Yeah.
gotta explain this to
Yeah.
you. You know, say in a way that won't shame you or
Yeah.
embarrass you.
Yeah.
You know, between me and him, that he knows that this is a healthy part of being a young man. You know what I'm saying? You
In
know, so
addition-
it's those talks that you got to have with your
Yeah.
children,
Yeah.
strong, deep conversations.
Yeah.
You know that you got to be able to have that type of relationship. You can't, if you don't have the healthy relationship with your children, those conversations will never happen.
In addition,
Or they'll
I
happen with someone outside of the family.
There
Yeah,
you go.
absolutely.
I just want
And
to.
you don't know how that is going to pair off. It could go left or it could be right. So it is important to make sure that you're having that relationship
So true.
and those talks within.
So true.
Right.
So
But
true.
you know, I just want to say this real quick. Like I really never, y'all probably never really ever heard me talk about my father in the past. And like even today, it's like I still feel a little, you know,
Emotion.
you know, here, you know, all you guys, all you know, and I knew you know, your situations that your fathers weren't there. So it was like I never even brought it up to like, you know, I felt like I would be bragging and boasting just to be like, you know, I had, you know, this is what I had, because I still tell people I had a fairy tale childhood living in Camden, you know, compared to my, you know, all my peers.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I from what I had to what I seen a lot of my friends not have, you know, in a way I felt kind of like, oh man, it's like I wish they could share the same feelings that I had and enjoyed, you know, with my father. But you know, I still feel some type of way talking about it.
Yeah,
you know,
Right. That shows you, man, how powerful, man, and deep, man, your relationship was with your dad, man. And that's so important now these days, man,
Definitely.
to make sure that, you know, we on here that are fathers, man, can give our children those same type of that love, attention, and affection, man, you know, that they need. And you know, Ward, man, good stuff right there, man.
Real quick, a Luther Vandross song came up, Keith. What Luther Vandross song just came to my mind?
Dancing with my father.
Dancing with my father again. You know, and that's, I think, even as grown men, we still need a father figure in our life.
I was literally about to ask you.
Come on with
mention
that, man.
No, seriously, I was about to ask you that.
What's
like,
up, Tony E?
Just the conversation and the, you know, when I was about to have Nia, and she was born in 2005. My daughter is now 16. I had a struggle, and that struggle was, would I be enough of a father for her? Would I meet the goal, you know, for her? Would I meet the mark? And because I didn't have a mark, a set mark to meet, you know, no, I didn't have a standard, and and from a dad's perspective, you know, so it was, I remember, you know, trying to reach out, you know, I remember talking to my pastor at the time, and I never forget, we was outside, and, you know, me and him, we just had a conversation. I asked him, I said, look, you know, my wife is pregnant, and he already knew, and I wanted to reach out to my dad, just to talk to him, get in his head, you know, kind of, you know, see what's going on, you know, just to have a conversation with him. I remember my pastor at the time said to me, he said, Keith, be careful if you do that, because having a conversation with him, you may think less of him than you do now. And that thing stung me, and I thought about it, and, you know, I took a step back. But for me, I thought, you know, being a dad, it just came natural. You know, it came natural to me to have her foot in my mouth at a young age, not now. You know,
it came in your mouth, man. Put that.
At a young age, it came natural to me, man, just to give her a bath and, you know, change her, you know, all of that. It just came natural, you know, and being able to now, her being 16, I think being able to navigate the, like, her being between my legs at a baby stage to, you know, Dad, I'll holler at you later. I'm at my girl's 16th birthday party. I'm like, yo, like, so for me, it's that change, you know, so everyone, you know, pretty much goes through that. So it's that navigation, you know, for me, that I'm in that state right now, you know, with KJ, you know, I know KJ is more like me. He's a quiet dude, you know, he's a thinker.
Cerebral.
He definitely is. He's a thinker. He's quiet. You know, he's silly when he's with his with people that's close to him. You know, Nia is more social. So I think when it comes to KJ, I try to keep him close. You know, because it's that thing that you guys were talking about, Ward, is that voice in the back of his head.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to, you know, so I decided not to reach out, you know, and have that conversation with my dad. We've talked over the last several years. He's just a proud, tough type of dude. And me, I get to a point where, Joker, I made it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in my late 40s. I don't know what you could give me now. You know, that I don't know if it's that pride that's in for me, you know, in that moment. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you know,
I'm with
that
you.
could definitely be a point, you know. So
Yeah, I'm with you on that because you know definitely I developed a relationship with my father later on in life before he died. A really good relationship, and even I have brothers and a sister
mhm,
on my father's side that I developed still to this day have a great relationship with them.
mhm,
But
Mm.
I was
Yeah.
happy to have had the chance to develop later in life a relationship with my biological dad. And you know, it brought some closure a little bit. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Because you know, you want to know, you know, the male side, you know, of your history, you
Mhm.
know, and you want to know the characteristics and the attributes and the type of individual and man that he
right,
was. And I'm
absolutely.
glad that I got to know who he was, good or bad. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm glad I got to know who he was because it brought some closure and some clarity in my life. And I can
Mm.
say that I don't regret the time that I did that God did allow me to have with him before he
Mhm.
left. You know what I'm saying? But even to this day, as grown men, we
Mhm.
still have a yearning, you
Yeah.
know, to have our father still present in our lives. And that's
Yeah.
why, you know, for Ward gets emotional because you miss the protection and the provision and the
Mm.
guidance that he provided. You know what I'm saying? And that's natural for us as grown men. You know, I felt like, you know, when my grandfather died, that you know, as much as I feel like at times I do need a still an elder, you know,
Right. Go to
that
call
I
on.
can go to, you know, in times of crisis in my life. I feel
Right.
like there's nobody that matches my grandfather.
Mm.
So in a lot of ways that stymies me from
Mm.
seeking out someone, you know what I'm saying, of a male reputable character that I know that I can trust.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right. Right.
saying? It's hard for men to trust another
Oh man.
man. You know what I'm saying? So when you find like when my grandfather, it was, you know, anything goes as far as the conversations. And if I needed to be chastised at 30 some years old, he had the
Mhm.
ability to do that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So, you know, because my expectations of a mentor
Mm.
are of my grandfather's qualities, and everybody doesn't have that.
Right.
Still, I feel like it shouldn't stop me from still seeking mentorship in my life because it's critical if I'm still going to grow and develop even at 48 years old. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I I can truly say that I know that that's my issue, you know,
Mm.
because I hold everybody up, all other men up to the standard of my
Mhm.
grandfather. You know what I'm saying? I can't hear you, INF.
They're not going to meet that standard.
Right, right,
they're
right,
not.
right,
They're
Nah.
not going
right,
to meet that.
right.
I got.
Everyone will fall short from that
Yeah,
standard.
yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna take this question from Corey Russ. How can someone miss what they did not have from their absent father?
That's kind of the point I was trying to make. It's more or less, you know, if you don't know what, you know, if you didn't have it, that's why, like a lot of, like I said, I feel kind of bad talking about my relationship with my father, you know,
Hmm.
around you guys, because it's like now it's like you guys will be like, well, damn, is that what I was missing? You know, I didn't want you guys to feel some type of way, like, well, damn, you had it that way, and
Hmm.
you know, and I had it this way. I never wanted anybody to feel, you know, not, I ain't gonna say lower
There
than.
would never be any resentment from us about the quality of life that you had as a
Right.
child.
Yeah,
Right.
That will
and
Right.
it,
only give us
No, 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 no.
information.
I'm not saying. I'm not
It will only
saying.
give us information and knowledge, you
yeah,
know, to be able, because what you received helps me as a father.
Mhm.
And you have to see it like that. What you had in your home with the two parent system helps other men and women to be effective fathers and mothers. You
hmm,
know, so don't view it from the point where, you know, I'm gonna feel a certain way because that was absent from my life. What you share with me helps to sharpen me to be a better parent, a better father. So view it in
also
that aspect.
as it sharpens us, it also is therapeutic for you, Ward. I think it's also therapeutic for you to continue to talk about your dad, to continue to talk about his greatness and the effect that he had on your life. You know, I think that's just an awesome thing, and that's where sounding boards that's really just soaking everything up. You know, that it's similar. That would be similar to us not talking about our kids because you don't have any. You know what I'm saying? So for us, it's talk about your pop as much as you want. We would love to hear more. So I remember going into Mark's house, I remember going into Mark's house and Mr. and I don't know if Mark will kill me for this story, but I remember going into his house and let's say Mr. Fernie was he wasn't fully clothed. So he came downstairs and Mark said something to him, and them two will always go back and forth in a good way. And Mr. Fernie looked at me. He said, "Man, that's just Keith." And I started
you family.
I started laughing. So it was like, so for me, it's
the acceptance into the
family. I embrace those stories about that because I don't have any like that. I don't have any like that. So I definitely embrace that and wanting to hear that word behind your head when you're about to do something stupid. So now
when he said that to you, Keith, when Miss Fernie said that to you, he's saying really point blank that you are like a son.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're like a son to me. You know what I'm saying? So that emotional connection that you felt from Mr. Fernie, from his words, solidified the fact that you're my son, just like Marcus is my son. You know what I'm saying? So that's so dope to receive from a good friend's father. That you have received me, a fatherless child. You've accepted me as your son. You know what I'm saying? Get back to Corey's question, and then Tony E got a question.
I got to respond to Tony E.
Get back to Corey's question though first. He said,
"How can someone miss what they did not have from absent fathers?"
I think that's a deep question because
it's a really great question.
How can you miss something that was never present in your home? You know what I'm saying? But like Ward brought up, Ward had a dad. You know what I'm saying? And, other young boys see that. So, and then they go home to their mom and they have questions. Where's my dad? What's my dad's name? Where is he? You know what I'm saying? Because, I had some issue, my sister, she talks with my nephew about those type of things as well, because he had questions too. But again, you know what I'm saying? These are you miss some things because you see them present in other people's lives.
Right. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I think within us there is an innate void that we have for male companionship on a father level. You know what I'm saying? And that's just something that's in the DNA of our spirit. Is that we need a father's love.
You
know what I'm saying? And I think that's more so on a spiritual level that might be a little deep for people because of, how we view God as father, but he's given us earthly fathers to also facilitate and to fill that purpose in our life. So I think within the DNA of our soul, we crave for that paternal connection as well. So even if we don't see it in other people's lives, still, I think within our own DNA of our soul and our spirit, there's a craving for it as well. Go to Tony E.
Yeah, that was way to sum it up, KD. I was about to add to it, but go ahead. Let's go to Tony E.
Let's see what.
This is my line brother right here, Kappa Alpha Psi, Anthony Evans, Tony E. That's a good. Yes, sir.
Read the question.
Sure, fellas, I have a question. Do you guys tell your kids that you love them every day? Growing up, I never heard my dad say I love you, so I tell my kids I love them every day, even till this day. And my kids are 27 years old, and I still tell them that I love them. Tony E.
Hey, you got up on that screen quick. You got up here to read that thing.
I have my glasses on. Now listen, this is a serious question right here, and I'm glad Tony E asked that question.
Yeah, thank you, Tony E.
Yes, when you say that I love you, those words were not in my vocabulary growing up. You know, I didn't hear that from, a father. I heard that, of course, from my mom. So it's heartfelt for me when I hear my little boys when they tell me back to back or simultaneously, hey, love you, dad, love you, dad.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, man, I really feel that. And it gotten to a point, man, where they say it so much, man, that I might say, okay, son, okay, son. So yesterday, my son Elijah says to me, he says, Dad, can you tell me that you love me too? Oh, no problem, son. I love you, son. I love you, son. But it was just the point that, they say it all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And I have no issue, man, telling my sons that I love them. And Tony E, keep doing what you're doing, my good brother. You said your
Yes, sir.
sons, Saeed and Sadiq, he has twins too. His sons are 27 years old. Keep telling them that you love them, Tony E.
It's interesting. We don't hang up. Me and the kids don't hang up, man. We don't leave each other's presence without saying I love you. That is the one thing that we always say. I love you, Dad. All right, love you, Dad. And we continue. We always say it. It's easy for me. It comes out easy for me to tell those that. I even tell y'all that. You know what I'm saying? To tell them that I'm love them. I'm so comfortable with that. I even kiss my KJ on his head still. I kiss him right on his forehead. All the time, man. He's at that point where he's looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm about to turn 13, but I, playing his hair, kissing right in his hair, hugging, dap him up like crazy, man. I think that, showing him that it's okay, that it's comfortable to say I love you. I never got that, like he said, from a dad. But I'm so cool with that, man. I enjoy to hear it. All right, love you too, Dad. And then and then hang up or leave or go to bed or something like that. So that's easy. Great question.
I want to say this because like me and my dad, like that was something we really never said, but it was like you really didn't have to because
it was understood.
It was understood, and the love that he showed. But when my dad got sick, our good brother Chris Simmons came to me one day and was like, yo, he said, the only thing I regret is I never got to say I love you to my dad. And that shit hit hard. So I just made sure I did before he left.
Yeah. Hey, and that's beautiful, Ward. You know what I'm saying? And again, the relationship doesn't die. And you can say that every day. I love you, Dad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just to express that and just to, express that language. I remember, my grandpa laying on his bed and he would say, come here, boy, come jump on me. And I would go lay on Pop. And he would rub his whiskers on my face, and he would kiss me, man. I would feel, and he would hold me tight so I couldn't get away from him, man. And he would rub them whiskers all on my face and mwah, mwah, mwah. And I do the same thing to Aiden because I got all these prickly whiskers and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I remember, my grandfather was affectionate and he was tender, you know what I'm saying? He was a strict disciplinarian. But people jump on that and forget that he was this tender dude, quick to hug you and to kiss you and want to be kissed. You know what I'm saying? And he demonstrated that, to people in church, to his family, so every morning before Aiden goes to school, I pray with him. And I tell him that I love him, and we're, during the whole time of getting him dressed and washed and fed, we're playing, we're running through the house, we're getting that good energy ready to set the tone for the day. You got to set the tone for your kids because the tone of them leaving in the morning will have an impact on their school day. So I want to make sure that his mind is in a state that is so positive that he can effectively perform in the classroom, keep that same good energy, so I hug him, I kiss him, I love him. And sometimes it be like you said, like little man came to you and was like, Dad, you need to tell me you love me the same way I tell you I love you. Sometimes your children will remind you what they are missing, sometimes they'll communicate it verbally, sometimes their behavior will indicate what they are lacking as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so we got to know our children so well that we know what they're missing. We know what
Absolutely.
they need,
Yeah.
you know, so that they don't have to just tell us, but we can pick up on it like it's just secondhand nature.
Yeah. Hey, fellas, I want to play this. I want to share this poem with y'all, man. And I have is a minute. Share this poem with y'all and just get your thoughts of this.
So I'm hanging out with my cousin and a few people that he works with. Him and I are both dads, so I say Black fatherhood. One of his coworkers decides to drag a joke through the conversation, says, that's kind of an oxymoron, right? You know, Black fatherhood. Anybody who knows me knows that my hands are two pots that are always full of water, and my temper is a gasoline stove that only a few people know how to turn off. When he said it, I clenched my fist so hard, I thought I saw steam leaking through my fingers. I wanted to swing. I wanted to turn this man's face into a meal, but instead I said, Zoe. I said, Zoe. And my daughter's name became 2 ice cubes in my hands. It was the only thing that stopped them from boiling over. I looked at him and I said, my little girl saved you today.
That's a dope poem. One of the things that children do is we give and we give and we love, you know, our kids unconditionally. You know, we also receive something from them. You know, we also change, you know, and kids change us. You know, I had a conversation earlier with someone today, and he talked about how his disposition changed, you know, when he had a child, you know. So, you know, I wanted to, you know, just see and tap into y'all, man, and see, you know, how did you change, you know, when you had your kids? You know, what are some of the things that you learned from, you know, when from them, you know, some of the things that they taught us, you know. I think I always talk about patience. And for me, it's the patience that I got with my son. You know, my daughter was different. You know, my son was a little bit, he took his time with everything, you know, and I learned to look at things in through a different lens when it came to him, you know, whether it was schoolwork, whether it was socially. So that was one of the great things that I learned just simply from him, you know, but I wanted to get y'all perspective on that.
Nice. For me, I wanted to piggyback off of what you just said, Keith. Patience. I learned patience to learn to be able to understand them, you know, and grasp the concept that some things they may not get right away. So to be able to, you know, bring them in and tell them that it's going to be all right when they make that mistake. But more importantly, I think what I learned when I had kids was that my life was no longer mine. So the biggest takeaway I've learned is that now it's about these 2 little boys. So I learned that I had to put everything else to the side and learn that, okay, what is the best thing that I need to do to be a father to raise these 2 boys up as men? So that's one of the things that I've learned.
Yeah. And you know, just to kind of coincide with that, I had to learn how to be slow to anger. You know, I got a 21-year-old too, you know, Damir. You know, and you know, he's doing very well these days, job, school, you know, involved in a relationship. So he's doing really good things with his life, you know. But you know, early on, as with your children, you encounter difficulties, behavior problems, you know, either in the home or in school. You know, I remember Keith helped me out in one, you know, some time ago, you know, when I was dealing with some things with him, you know, and he was integral in really helping me. So I had to learn not just to be slow to anger, but to also know that you can't do it by yourself. Sometimes you
Right.
need to reach out as a parent
Mhm.
because there's so many things that we think we might be able to utilize from our childhood and implement that. But for many children, it's not a cookie cutter pattern of being a parent.
Right.
Every child is unique, and you got to bring a set of skills as a parent in order to be effective. And no man is an island, no parent is an island. And at
Mhm.
times, if you need the help, you got to seek out the help, because if you allow anger to control you as
Yeah.
you try to change a child's behavior, it's not going to help. It's not going to do what you intended for it to do.
Right.
That's
Right.
why,
Right.
like Keith and EB brought up, it's got to be patience and the ability. When you've done everything that you feel like you can, you got to seek out the help that you need to really try to figure out the best option or the best method, the best strategy to really save your children. Sometimes we give up too quickly,
Mhm.
in problematic situations, but you got to be able to reach out and get the help that you need for your children,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's a challenging day as a parent.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely is. Ward, looking at your you got nephews.
Yes. Well, I
Yeah.
have a nephew.
Nephew, that's what it, hey, nephew.
Yeah.
What would you say some of the things just being an integral part of your nephew's development as a young man? Some of the things that you possibly may have taken away, learned, or your impact on him.
Well, I mean, actually, he does say to this day that because I'm not sure exactly what he's doing now, but at one point he was in the music industry,
Hmm.
and he was telling me how he was at a party and they were playing basically all old school hip hop.
Hmm.
So it was like, so he was like, Uncle Ward, he was like, I knew everything that they was playing. He said, thanks to you riding around in the back of the Acura, I know all the songs.
So
So
he
it
knew
was
about
like,
the De La.
yeah, you know
Yeah,
about
yeah.
De La Tribe and all that, but it was like,
EPMD.
out, yeah, and I was, I guess I was considered the fun uncle,
Okay, okay, okay.
so
Okay.
they got to follow my footsteps. I ain't gonna say follow my footsteps, but they seen, just the clarity that I had through life and just trying to, take it a day at a time and not be so serious about everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I remember when my nephew was real young, he actually did it came out and said, I want to be like Uncle Ward.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it was like, you be there, you just be there for the kids. My brother did discipline his kids, and
Hmm.
and I was there. I had a voice in it. It wasn't like, I'm sitting there, holding the paddle or the belt, but it was like, yo, you better listen to your daddy
Yeah,
and
yeah,
do it
yeah, yeah.
because you got that's your dad, and that's going to be your dad for forever. Love him because he loves you, and he's going to provide for you, to make sure that you want for nothing, and then you go to get and then you do that in return. So it was like, like I said, it for some reason it's just like we all led by example in our
Yeah,
family. It was
yeah.
a lot of words weren't exchanged,
Hmm.
but it was a lot of this is how I'm doing it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I watched my father the way he used to treat my mother. So it was like, you learn from him,
Hmm.
and that's how I always thought it should be. You see, your father, he teaches you how to be a man, and then and we've been talking about nothing but men, but a father also teaches his daughter
Mm.
what to expect from a
Absolutely,
man.
absolutely.
So it's like, we as men do have that role in our female lives,
Hmm.
so being a father, we do, just like a mother has to have have two sides of her coin, so do the fathers, and we are very, very important.
Yeah.
And before we even go any further, I just want to stop and say, y'all didn't talk about y'all want to toot y'all horns, but I just do want to give a shout out to y'all for being fathers and raising some good children. Because, like I said, there's nothing I could ever say wrong or indifferent about any of your children. Y'all got some beautiful kids. Y'all so great dads. Keep that shit up.
Hey, Ward, thank you, Ward.
Appreciate
Thank
that,
you, brother.
Ward.
Hey, man, don't have us on here being emotional, man.
I'm
Nah,
emotional, and that's that Carl Thomas voice right there.
Hey, EB knows that. EB knows that very well. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
Carl
Remember that?
Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that cut?
I remember.
Remember that cut? Hey,
I remember.
Hey, we used to.
Emotional.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna keep it quiet on that one, brother.
Hey, I was about to tell a story about that song when we was in Jamaica. I stopped real fast.
Yeah, all right, man. Thank you.
Look at EB, you making
So
him
where we
sweat a
at,
little
man?
bit.
Trendy
You make him
topics,
sweat a little
brother.
bit.
Hey, I did. Yeah, let's go to trendy, but I want to, highlight Gasper and all the fellas, man. Eric Coleman, Rob Tufnell, Corey Russ,
man.
for joining us, on this topic, man. Some great dads. Leave us with. I think in today's society, the presence of a strong male role model is underrated in the development of our sons and daughters. I think it is. We talk about that all the time. Just, even if it's a son just watching his dad, I think that's most important. It's not always about teaching. It's just simply about their presence, being there, just watching his dad, how he moves, how he communicates, and the things that he does, throughout the day. I think that's so crucial in the development of sons and daughters, man. So, fellas, man, we appreciate you guys, man, for joining us, partaking in this conversation. Women as well. Thanks, ladies, for being a part of the conversation when when we're talking about a father's love. So, enjoy, and enjoy this month, fellas. This is the month of men. The month of fathers. Celebrate, when it comes to great fathers, we're not really looking for anything, but we want to highlight just our thoughts. We definitely want to highlight great dads, great uncles, the
ain't
men.
looking for anything. I'm looking
for a gift, man.
They better give me a gift. I work hard.
I want gifts, man.
I want gifts too. I don't want no socks and drawers neither. I want gifts. Take me out. You cater to me, do all that stuff.
Yo, I thought you was going to sing that song. I thought you was about to start singing too. You probably would sing the song if you knew the words, bro.
Hey, Rob Tufnell said he's looking for gifts too.
Rob Tufnell looking for gifts. So women, ladies, mothers, celebrate these men, these awesome men,
I want no
heroes.
JC Penny action either.
Yeah. So celebrate them. And small fellas. Yo, let's go to some trending topics, man. What's up, Donnie? What's going on, big bro? What's up? Let's go to some trending topics, fellas. What you got?
I got well, man, this past year, man, we've lost a lot of great African American icons, man. From singers to some rappers, man, to some actors. And the latest we lost brother Clarence Williams III, man. He was most known for some of the roles he was in the Mod Squad. He was in back in the day. He was in Deep Cover, Tales from the Hood. But I think I really recognized him, man, when he played in Purple Rain. He was the father of Prince, Francis L.
The abusive father.
The abusive father to Prince's mother. Yeah, Francis L. He left us, man. He died a couple days ago at the age of 81 from colon cancer. So rest in peace, Clarence Williams III.
He really played some characters that were really deeply troubled.
He did.
He had that depth that he could reach. That it was like
Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill. Yep.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Or a very intimidating character.
Yep.
When you saw him come in the room, you were scared. Even sitting there watching him in your living room, like, I'm scared of this dude right here. You know what I'm saying? His I don't remember him having a lot of lines in the movies.
He just had looks. He had shots.
Yeah,
he definitely had some looks.
His presence when he came in, you knew,
somebody was doing some drugs. You knew somebody was doing some drugs around when he came and played his part.
Or there was going to be some confrontation that he was going to handle. I'm here to handle this,
Right.
So I mean, kudos to him. And that character he played in Purple Rain as the abusive father, you'll never forget that when Prince had to stop him from beating on the mom,
Right.
that was just that was so real.
Yeah. Now, dope. What we got next, man? That's some good stuff, man. I definitely enjoyed him in Sugar Hill. That's one of my favorite movies right there, man. Yeah, Hoodlum too. I'm trying to remember him in Hoodlum. Yeah.
He was
he was kind of in between, but he was with not on Bumpy's side. He was
with Doug Schultz.
Yeah, he was with the Italian boys.
Yeah. Okay.
But at the end, he did help out Bumpy.
All right.
Yeah. So last week marked the 100th year anniversary of the Tulsa massacres back in 1921. President Joe Biden, he spoke at a memorial service that commemorated the massacre of Greenwood. Over 300 people, Black people, men, women, and children were murdered by an angry mob of white people, dead on their houses, dead on their cars. The town of Greenwood was burned to ashes. Bombs were dropped, shot and killed in the streets, in their homes. Thousands had to run for their lives out of there, and many of them had to live on these type of concentration camps after fleeing for their lives from that brutal massacre. All because they were a thriving Black community, a Black community that consisted of a very advanced banking system, insurance companies, churches, and other businesses, educational system as well. And when these white people saw that this Black community was thriving, whenever white people see Black people thriving in a community, they take it as competition, and that group of white people wanted to undo everything that Black community had worked hard to build. So and again, that wasn't just Tulsa. There were many cities around America that were massacred in Durham, North Carolina, Rosewood, New York, Chicago, during the early 1900s. Thriving Black communities with advanced.
He froze.
He froze.
Yeah,
those were some
you
good
know what?
points,
It's mostly
man.
because a lot of these white communities, they were upset the fact that because we're basically a consumer community anyway. We consume the most, and they were pissed off that the money was circulating between us and not going to them. That was their biggest gripe, was because we weren't spending money on putting our dollar in their pocket, because
we had our own.
We had our own, and they were always. That's how this credit thing started, because they get us in debt, and now they got us for life. So now that they didn't have that opportunity to basically enslave us through money, they were a little pissed.
I wonder what that. I wonder what that would look like, man, and what it would take for us to get back to that place, man, where we are a thriving Black community, man. So I wonder what it would take. I know Akon has been doing some great things over in Africa, when it comes to power, when it comes to building up communities there. I wonder what it would take for us to get there. I would love to freaking see that, man. Us rebuild, not only Tulsa, but like other cities. I think it may not be in our lifetime, but in the next lifetime, man, just to simply be able to see that, a Black community flourishing in such a way as it did in Tulsa.
Just to piggyback off of that real quick. On CNN, they had a documentary that was produced by LeBron James and Maverick Carter. It's called it's about the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre. It's called Dreamland: The Burning of Black Wall Street. It's on CNN now. I think you can you can on demand it,
Demand, go back and
and
watch.
yeah, but it aired actually on the anniversary. So
Right.
I mean, I haven't checked it out yet, but I damn sure will.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So let's let's support that. Let's look at our history and
yeah.
see what's going on. See the things that they didn't teach us in school.
Right.
Nah,
Right.
nah, nah. That's
Let's
something we
let's
didn't. I know for sure. I ain't learned that in there.
right.
That wasn't in your
Right.
book.
And you
Exactly.
know
Good.
what? Award. I had an opportunity not to see like a lot of it, but I was able to tune in and catch some of it. And
Mhm.
it was frustrating, to kind of see it. But
Yeah, a lot of
I
people.
appreciated the fact that they had some, I want to say, some live accounts of back in the day of some
Mhm.
people who actually, I want to say, lived through it and had family members who
Right.
lived through it. So they were able to tell some of those stories because,
Mhm.
sometimes in our history, man, sometimes our history gets watered down. But
Hmm.
Big
they had,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
they had some real accounts of actually what transpired some time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is,
Yeah.
right on time.
There you go,
Yeah.
Shakur. We was wrapping up, man. Talking about what it would look like to have another Black Wall Street man in this day and time.
Yeah.
Talking about the finances and how would it be so impactful for our community. So now,
Yeah.
dope topic, man, and thank you
Yes, sir.
for bringing that up. Did
Yeah,
he?
it's just like, and I know a lot of us do feel, it sometimes it is a hard watch for some of these documentaries of the things that have happened to us, but I still feel as though it's a good thing to watch it,
Mhm.
because
Absolutely.
we
It
we
is.
def
It
we
is.
def we
Yeah.
just like
Learn.
when we were kids, they I hear a lot of people saying today about why we always gotta watch these movies, they always gotta do something about slaves and this and that. I'm like,
Talking
look,
about
man,
roots. Remember
learn,
roots?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
shoot. I mean, learn it, watch it. I
Our
mean, because
Educate yourself.
yeah,
educate yourself, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
educational system has been totally whitewashed.
Yeah. Katie, you still with us, brother?
Thank you.
I don't think so. Ward, you still
Yeah.
there?
I'm still here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Now
still
you.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Arlene, what's up,
I got
Arlene?
that top-notch internet. Right.
It took you a long time to get it. Hey,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
they sure did.
it took you a while to get it.
It took me a
So
while.
yeah, moving on. We did recently. We had several interviews with with Camden, Maryland candidates the last several weeks for the city of Camden. The
Mhm.
primaries are tomorrow. The Camden City primary election is tomorrow. So please, the polls open up at 6 a.m., 6 to 8. So this is a very, 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 very important election. So get out and vote tomorrow for the Camden City. Those that live in Camden, the Camden City primaries. If you'd like to go back to our podcast, go to YouTube on just our thoughts with the fellas, and we have several candidates that had an opportunity to talk about their vision and what they see for the city of Camden. So get out and vote, Camden City. Another one, man. Moving on, Naomi Osaka. She withdrew from
Yeah.
the French Open last week. She announced Monday on social media that she would be taking some time away from the court. This was one day after she was fined and threatened with harsher sanctions for skipping her mandatory media obligation. Her lengthy statement said she never wanted it to be a distraction and that her withdrawal is the best thing for the tournament and other players' well-being.
Mhm.
So Osaka got a lot of feedback for her stepping down and stepping back from these tournaments. She's a 23-year-old, and she also revealed that she has experienced depression and anxiety
Mm,
since
mm,
winning her first major at the
mm.
2018 U.S. Open, and explained that speaking to the media often makes her nervous. She apologized to any media members she had impacted with her decision. Yo, she got some crazy, nasty feedback, man, when she stepped down. And
Mhm.
because a lot of people initially thought, she was being selfish because she didn't want to speak to the media. And I think for me, it gives others an opportunity. And then she spoke on her her mental health, and why she didn't want to speak to the media. And I think for me, one of the things that I looked at was really just taking time out and having a better understanding of what's going on and not rushing to judgment. When we have these players, and I speak on Kyrie often, we have these players, these athletes, and just a normal person, normal people, the average person, that makes a decision not to do something or to do something, we so fast, to judge, So I just thought it was dope, and a lot of people recanted their statements after she came out and she spoke on her mental health. I think that's Kevin trying to get back in.
Yeah. I always thought that was the dumbest thing ever in sports, that you have to talk to media.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you don't want to say anything, just like with Marshawn Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
I feel him. I see why he did it. He was obligated to, but yeah, you show up, you ain't gotta say nothing.
Yeah.
To me, it's crazy. I don't feel as though any of these athletes need to sit there and entertain the stupidity from a lot of these reporters, in my opinion.
Asking the same question.
Yeah, you ask the same dumb question every day. You're like, dude, didn't he just ask that?
And then,
man.
And then they switch around the words of what you actually said later on when you see like the post conference thing. But, hey man, that mental health thing is really crazy.
Even ask a question that doesn't even pertain to the sport.
Right.
Really, let them have a private life themselves. We don't need to know who they're dating, when they're getting married, why you had an argument with your brother the other day. Dude, I could care less.
And that's why the media is upset, man, because they can't get that type of information from her. They want to know, hey, what's going on in Naomi's life? Talk to us. We want to know what's happening with you. And they can't get to her. And so in
the power of social media, it's interesting because now these athletes and people just in general have the power of social media to get their own voice out. Like they don't have to use the media, that's there with the microphone in your face right after the game. You can come out and tell your whole story, on your own. So I think that's amazing.
Because she made her statement on Twitter. Of her bowing out of the French Open. As a fan, I do want to hear Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and LeBron after games. I do want to hear, their take on what happened on the court, or how they made the winning shot, or how they failed in a certain circumstance. I do want to hear them right after a game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get.
I don't know.
Point.
I just disagree with that a lot, because it's like, I don't want to. I could care less if the wind was blowing a certain way and threw the ball off, and the shoe was untied. Dude, I could care less. You made it, you missed it. Okay, you lost, you won. You're out the playoffs. You're in the playoffs. So what? Let's just play the game, get paid, and let's just keep on moving.
No, that's what's up. Now I actually like to hear it myself. I like to hear it right after the game, and I think it would be better if they gave them some more time. When they come off that court or off the field, you getting raw emotion. During a long
microphone right in your face.
They put the microphone right in your face. So I would suggest, man, that they give them some time. Any more trending topics, man? Any more trending topics? We got anything else?
I think that's it, man. Before we go to the man laws.
Yeah, Woody, you got a man law for us, man?
I got a little something.
All right, let's get to man laws.
Shopping bags, they way down her arm.
All right, fellas, we got man law number 15. Title: Stay in your lane. Man shall not be extra, as in seeking attention. Be yourself and you will get noticed. If not, then you wasn't and you wasn't in the room that you were supposed to be in anyway. You know, it's like, yo, you got these dudes, man, just seek too much attention. They jumping up and down, acting a fool. Like, look, dude, sit your ass down, relax. You know what I mean? We all here to have fun.
Yeah.
No.
So man law number 15 is sit your butt down and stop seeking attention.
Yes.
Gotcha. Anything else with that, man? Hey, Katie, you got any
Ask the
Ask the Professor?
I do, but I keep going in and out, man.
Hey, man.
Well, let's give it a try, brother.
You want to go? You want to try it, man? Let's try it, man.
Ask the Professor.
Yo. Am I still here?
Yes, you are.
Am I still connected for the time being? All right, let me hurry up. Let me hurry up. So I had a question. Ask the professor. Professor, I feel stuck in life. I feel stuck in relationships, stuck in my career, stuck in a lot of different areas of my life. What do you have as a potential remedy to help me get unstuck as it pertains to these different areas? All right. Signed, the stuck one. So yeah. So I think we kind of deal with this. We dealt with this a little earlier on one of the Ask the Professor questions, but you know, she's talking this viewer. I don't know if it's a him or her, but they're really talking about being stuck in life, work, and relationships. And just feeling like they can't move forward for whatever reason. And one of the things that, you know, as I thought about this question, a lot of the inability to move forward, or, you know, being stuck in these various areas of your life, especially being stuck in past hurt and trauma, it really stems from your thought life. All right. It really stems from a lot of the false narratives that you create in your own mind. A lot of the reasons why you feel like you can't get out of a relationship or you can't move ahead in your job or your career, it really stems from the false narrative that you create in your own mind.
Hey, can I finish this until he comes back? You know, I think when you talk about false narratives, you know, what happens, and we have this conversation so often, you know, when this conversation for me comes up so often, I think about assumptions, you know, when you create a story in your mind, you know, I'm not going to be as good as him, Kat. But when you create a story in your mind off of your past experiences, you know, if you're capable to be able to leave a relationship, if you're capable or able or qualified enough to apply for a new job or go out and get a new job, you know, that stuck area, you know, is huge for people, you know, because you're sitting there and it's about movement for you. You know, it is about a level of qualification and trust. You know, in the privacy of your mind, how qualified you are if you're capable of maintaining yourself outside of this negative relationship. You know, sometimes when you talk about relationship, I know Kevin mentioned relationship, where you can stay in a relationship because a bad relationship because it's easy. And it's actually easy to stay in a bad relationship versus taking that time out for yourself. And the hard part is, how do I get out of this relationship and be by myself? You know, it takes a lot of effort to do that, because when she comes home or when he comes home, I already know what to expect, that she gonna be upstairs, I'm gonna be downstairs, you know, and we're not gonna communicate. She gonna cook her own food, I'm gonna cook my own food. So like Arlene says, it's the familiarity of that relationship that makes it easy, the familiarity of the job that makes it easy not to step out. So when you talk about the stuck, are you really talking about familiarity and things being easy and common to yourself? So if that person, and I forget the title that she or he labeled herself, changes the label it different and put the onus on herself, put the responsibility on herself in terms of how do I get out of that stuck area, or change that stuckness to, am I able to, am I qualified? Am I able to move? So I think that's we could start from there, and really just look at ourselves in the mirror, and change that narrative, for herself, and stop looking at the past. The one thing about the past is that you just got to continue to let it go. That past is in the past. Hakuna Matata. It means no worry. So you really just can't worry about, how long are you going to worry about that past? So, I thought that was
that nigga just quote a cartoon.
Hey, when you got kids, hey Woody, when you got kids, man, you watching all that stuff, man.
I got Lion King 1 and 2 out on the shelf. So
man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cat wanted you to wrap it up, man.
I know. Listen, let me
she said it was good. She said it was good. She said it was good. So go ahead, Cat. Finish that up before you get
the last thing I just want to add to what I was hearing was that, better yourself, okay? In relationships, on your job, try to update yourself. Stay up to date with the latest trainings, the latest models, knowledge. Increase in every facet of your life. You know what I'm saying? Don't continue to just stay at the level that you are, but continue to better yourself. And don't be afraid to take risks. I know Drake had a song called No New Friends, but it's okay to invite new people into your life. Absolutely. Because you don't know what purpose they might have to help you better yourself. So that's all I got.
There it is.
Fellas, great, amazing conversation again. Hey, y'all don't see what I just did. So when you was talking, KD, Cat Page said, "Dag, that was good." I didn't highlight it until after I got finished talking. So it made it look like that comment was for me.
but it was early on.
It was early on. KD not with us no more. Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. On Just Our Thoughts with the Fellas. Share, continue to subscribe, continue to share our podcast. We're on all streaming platforms with our conversation. Share this conversation. Enjoy the men in your life. Celebrate the men that's in your life this month if you can. Buy them something good. Continue to show them that they're worth it, and be a part, continue to show the men that they're worth it. And we'll be back. This is Just Our Thoughts with the Fellas.
Yeah, even if they ain't got no kids.
Even if they ain't got no kids. Good stuff, Wardy. This is Just Our Thoughts with the Fellas. I'm Keith Hall, your host. And these are the fellas, EB, KD, and Ward Heen. Peace.
Peace.